There's about 360 million people in the world who have hearing loss, and most of those people, even in quite wealthy countries, do nothing about it. So we've developed a system where people can be at home and buy hearing aids over the internet and set them up themselves. But to do that, we want a really, really intuitive and beautiful interface that would make people want to do this.
I was engaged a couple of years ago to redesign the Leah Heiss Saunders hearing programmer, and I guess the process was a really interesting one because it was getting the audiologists and the hearing technicians and myself as a designer in the room and really starting to rethink what this device might be. I'm really interested in the idea of design coming in at the very beginning of therapeutic development process, and this was a good example of how we worked in a transdisciplinary way to, come up with a really interesting technology.
Yeah. I engaged with Leah and told her how we wanted people to feel attached to this project, and she helped us develop that concept into something that was a device that people would really love.
And a lot of the geometries I was looking at were based on natural forms, so river stones and jewels and really kind of beautiful forms that might fit nicely to the body. I want to design a device that destigmatises hearing loss. And I'm very interested in this idea of designing things that people have a very close personal and intimate connection with, that they might love, but also that keep them well and healthy.
We called the name Incus, which is after a part of the ear anatomy, and that's the name that stuck.
The approach that I took was really to come up with 3 different forms: the bean, the pod, and the jewel. I'm really interested in the idea of iterative making, and that really enables me to come up with an idea, model it, 3D print it, feel it, and then reprint at a different scale or start to slightly modify or shift things and then reprint the model again and again and again. That's one of the strongest capabilities that you're afforded when using 3D printing and additive manufacturing.
So this device here sits between the computer and hearing aid. They hook their hearing aids onto these pieces. This will connect to their computer by Bluetooth, and then they can completely personalise their hearing aid. So suppose this device here belongs to a coffee barista. He sets up his hearing aids at home and they sound lovely all over the house. He then goes into work and takes his iPad and his programmer and sets them up again with the coffee machine going. He can then, when he goes into work, always just flick his hearing aid onto Coffee Barista program and then go home and flick it back to home program.
There's something really quite amazing about the idea of a device that has memory and enables you to have a much more sort of seamless experience through life.
It's like this is your virtual audiologist.
We're also looking at sort of nanotechnologies and microelectronics and the capacity to perhaps have veneers of technology over the top of our loved and cherished artefacts, so that you might have a necklace that you already have a strong relationship with, but that it's also keeping you alive, or a ring that is your wedding ring but is also administering drugs into your system. I look towards a future in which hearing devices are just designed aesthetic objects in much the way that glasses are now.